For practice activity 1B, we'll start by opening the drawing introduction.dwg from the DWG drawing folder within the reference folder in the files that we've downloaded. So if we look at our folder structure, basically in the Civil 3D 2023 Civil 3Ds, references, and then DWG, and you're looking specifically for the introduction drawing. So with that drawing open, we're just going to get oriented to the workspace. So first thing you'll notice is it is very busy. Realize this is a drawing. We'll work on this all semester long, and if it doesn't make a lot of sense now, in another month it will make much more sense, and each week we'll be adding a different aspect to this drawing. So ultimately this will make sense to us and we'll be able to create it. So with that drawing open, we're going to make sure on the Home tab we've got the tool space icon there, and you'll remember that's what we click on to make this column at left, the tool space, toggle on and off. So we want to make sure we have the tool space on. With the tool space on, you'll notice that there are a series of 4 tabs that run vertically at the right of it. There's the Prospector tab, which is where we're going to spend most of our time today. Below that, we have the Settings tab, and we'll get into settings in just a little bit. But let's start with the Prospector tab. With the Prospector tab active, we see in bold font at the top the drawing's name, Introduction. Beneath that, we see drawing object types like point groups, surfaces, alignments, sites, turnabouts, pipe networks listed. And if we click the plus at the left of any of those groups, we'll expand it and we can see all of the drawing objects of that type. So as we create these different types of drawing objects, they're automatically characterized by the type of object we're creating, and they're organized into the correct group. So we're going to look at the different types of objects. You'll notice there is no plus at the left of points because right now the points are categorized by groups and we don't have them individually listed there. So points is not something we'll normally see listed that way. But to start, let's take a look as we're directed to in step 6 of practice activity FB. Let's go down and look at our surfaces, and let's look for the FG surface. So you'll see surface FG. Let's click the plus at the left of it, and you'll see it has masks, watersheds, and definition. I'm going to expand definitions, and you'll see there are break lines. So we have a break line related to a school. And if we highlight that, we'll see in the preview area at the bottom some more information about it. So we can see we have 5 vertices. We can see it's a standard type of break line. A break line is simply a drawing object that helps define a surface. All right, so we're going to select the school FL break line in the preview area. We'll right click, and from the shortcut menu options, we're going to zoom to it. So we've zoomed to the break line, and we can see this is the area that the school is in. And so we can zoom to any drawing object by selecting it in the preview area, right-clicking, and then choosing to zoom to. So at this point, I'm going to go back up to point groups. I'm going to make sure that's expanded. And I'm going to look specifically for the boundary pin survey group. And you'll notice that when I select that, in the preview area below, the points all list. Now, if I take my cursor and I hover at the line that divides the tool space from the preview area, you'll see the cursor turns into a vertical arrow, and I can click and drag to adjust the height of the preview area. So these are all of my points in that particular point group, boundary pin survey. And I can look at the information. I can drag it from left to right to view all of it. And you'll see I have coordinate locations. I have elevations. I have descriptions. More coordinate locations. Longitude and latitude. So in Activity 1B, they have us select point numbers 2 and 3 from the preview. So I'm going to simply click on the number 2. I will hold down the Shift key so I can select a second item, and I'll click on number 3. And with those 2 points selected, I'll right-click. Whoops. There we go. I'll right-click, and I'll choose to zoom to points 2 and 3. So now I've zoomed to points 2 and 3. So the point markers are not actually displayed. They are hidden, but I am right in the location of point 2 and point 3. So even though I don't see number 2 and number 3 on the point label, the software knows to zoom in right at them. All right, so having done that, I'm going to do a zoom previous. I'm actually going to do the typed command. Okay, and that takes me back to where we had previously zoomed in on the break line from step 7. All right, so now for task 2, we're going to take a look at the Toolspace Settings tab. So you'll find the Settings tab right below the Prospector tab, and you'll notice that there are different drawing object types listed here. So this is a little different in that this is where the settings that relate to those drawing objects are, as opposed to the actual information regarding the objects. You'll also notice that up at the top I have the word Introduction. That's our drawing name. If I right-click on that in the Settings tab, you'll see I have the option to edit the drawing settings. And so let's select that option. And I get the dialog box with 5 tabs relating to drawing settings. We'll start with the units and zones. And basically, this is where we would adjust our scale. And in step 4, they have us set the scale to 1 inch equals 40 feet. Our drawing units are feet, degrees for angular units. Our coordinate system here is related to California. We're looking for, actually, they have us look to see what is available. Okay, but they don't have us change that, so we'll leave it as it is. We'll click OK to close that. And now we changed our scale in that view to 1 inch equals 40 feet. In step 7, they have us go into the model space taskbar and adjust the scale there. So you'll see in the middle of the taskbar towards the lower right-hand corner, we have our scale option there, and they have us actually change it to 1 inch equals 100 feet. So you can adjust scale here, you can adjust it in the drawing units. All of the labels are annotative so that as we make adjustments to scale, the font sizes will be updated so they display appropriately. All right, so now contour lines. These salmon colored and green lines that we see here, these are contour lines. Contour lines are lines that are used to display how surface elevations vary. And you'll see each line is connecting points of an equal elevation. The more frequent salmon-colored lines are what we call minor elevation contour lines, and the green are majors, meaning that they're at a, oh, see, I've hovered over it and my surface pops up with information. This is the FG surface. The style of contour line is 2 foot and 10 foot. So basically each line, each salmon line, is a minor contour line showing changes in elevation of 2 feet. The green lines represent changes in elevation of 10 feet. So when I have adjacent lines, remember these lines are connecting points at an equal elevation, and this line that my cursor is hovering over is at an elevation difference of 2 feet from the previous line. And that is at an elevation difference of 2 feet from the previous line. And the green lines are 10-foot elevation differences. So basically, when we see that we have contour lines spaced very close together, that's a good indication that the elevation varies quite a bit. And we can modify our surface style, how that displays. I'm going to click on one of the contour lines, and you can click on any one. Once you do that, there'll be a contextual tab that opens related to surfaces, and you'll find towards the left a surface properties option. So we're going to click on that. We're going to click surface properties, and we're going to choose to change our style. So this is our surface properties dialog box. And you can see that our surface style is set to 2 foot and 10 foot. And we're going to click display all of our options. And in step number 10 for this activity, they tell us just select any one of these styles. I'm going to go with the ASC contours 1 foot. No, yeah, let's go 1 foot and 5 foot. It'll be very busy and they'll be very close together, but let's do that just to demonstrate the process. So with that said, I'll click OK. And now I have many more contour lines. I'm going to hit Escape to unselect them. And now my contour lines, my minor contour lines, are representing changes in elevation of 1 foot. The bold, lighter lines are representing changes of 5 foot or more. And if we hover over any one of them with our cursor, you'll see we get this pop-up that tells us exactly what the style is, what the surface is, and what the elevation is for the point that I'm hovering over. All right, so one more thing to check. So we're back at the Tool Space tab. We have Prospector, Settings. Let's go down to Toolbox. We're going to skip over Survey for now. We'll talk about survey data in Chapter 2. In my Toolbox tab of the Tool Space, you'll see I have a Reports Manager up at the top. If I click the plus at the left of the Reports Manager, I can see all of the report options that I have. You'll see there's a little toolbox, and then there's a toolbox with a pencil. If I click on the toolbox in the left corner, I have the option to edit my report settings, and all of the properties that I can change or adjust settings for are listed in bold with pluses at the left of them. We're going to start by expanding the owner category of properties by clicking on the plus at the left of the word owner. And we're going to expand the preparer information, and we're going to replace preparer with our name. Let's modify those settings. So let's put in our name, Mary Teacher for me. We'll leave it with default. For the company, let's expand that. I'm going to add Waubonsie Community College. All right, and for address, I'm going to put in a fictitious address. Well, actually, we'll leave that 123 Main Street. All right, and I'll click OK. So now I have that information associated with any report that I run. And so let's go ahead and run a report. So in step number 5 of task 3, they have us go down under the alignment reports, expand alignment reports. We're looking specifically for the PI station report. With that selected, we're going to right click and we're going to choose to execute that report. This now will show us the alignment stations, it's going to list all of the horizontal tangent information for a range of stations, and you can see I have all of the different alignments there. So there are several alignments, and alignments for this project, alignments are the roads. All right, and we're going to keep all the defaults. We're going to click Create Report. It might take a moment, but this will open. It's going to give us a table. And we have, of course, the updated information related to the preparer, client company, and address. So that is an alignment station report. And we'll download this. Let's quick do a download. So I'm going to click and save page as. You had alignment PI station report. I'm going to click save, and this is what you'll submit for the assignment. So that was practice activity 1B. We'll submit that for the assignment for chapter 1, along with the file you created for practice activity 1A.